Uh, Another, great game. I want to say this before, I forget. Just want to congratulate Coach Danny Hall. What a tremendous career. And I know it's a tough one to end on, but not just a tremendous career, but a tremendous year this year as the ACC champs. And he's been terrific, and I've been watching him for so many years. And he does it the right way. Wins a lot of baseball games, and he does it in a great conference. And he's a class act and Hall of Fame coach. So with that, we're excited and happy to keep playing. I thought we knew it would be a slugfest in one of those games. It just went back and forth, and outs were hard to come by. But I thought our offense was terrific. I thought Furness had a couple just giant hits for us. But throughout the game, it looked hard on the mound, and it really was. But we hung in there, and our hope was to get to Nichols, sometime, hopefully around the 6th, and that worked out. We didn't know it was going to be maybe 8-8, when that happened. But he showed you what kind of guy he is and what kind of teammate. He certainly wasn't at his best today, but just a lot of adrenaline. And was able to, pitch well and then hand it off to McCausland, who I thought was really the story of the game. I think 3 zeros at the end of the game, in a game where it looked like it may end up being 18-20, was huge.
Questions? Carla? Coach, back here. Congrats on the win. What do you talk about now, a quick turnaround, and how are you feeling about those arms after today's pitching?
Couple questions. Yeah, nothing to talk about. He said it really quick. You've heard the mantra all year: shower well, and I think no better opportunity to do that. Very emotional game. Crowd was electric, throughout the game. And our guys put it on the line like their guys did, But you got to go back in that locker room, as Mitch Sanford would say, eat your sandwich, and get ready to play another baseball game. And I know our guys are looking forward to the opportunity. As far as pitching, Gunnar Dennis will start, and then we'll just put it together from there.
Mike, Connor Spencer, man, I can't really say much or too many things about him, but he's pitched all 3 days in the regional. He closed out a lot of your SEC tournament games. What can you say about just him as maybe a leader in your locker room, but also a leader on the field?
Yeah, just he's been awesome, and he is the closer and the guy that you want to have the ball in his hands at the end of the game. But he will wear it. He's the guy that, if we put him in with a 4-run lead or whatever it is, he's not selfish. He's not, the guy that only wants to come in when it's a close opportunity. He wants to win and get outs, and he'll pitch multiple innings. He'll pitch multiple days. We certainly wouldn't be sitting here, and I don't just mean in this tournament. I mean throughout the season without Spence. He's been fabulous.
Coach, your thoughts on who will go tonight, starting pitcher?
Gunnar Dennis.
Gunnar Dennis.
Good.
Real quick, Campbell Smith, you got to be proud of the way that he's played this tournament.
Yeah, I think Campbell has been terrific the last maybe month of the season, and really has given us a boost, at the back end of the lineup, and maybe even middle of the lineup if you want to look today, batting 6. Terrific kid, terrific player, and he's been really good for us. But there's only brighter days for his future here.
Last one for Coach. Last one. Just want to ask what you make of the fact every game here at this regional, a team has scored at least 8 runs. Why is it such a slugfest, like you mentioned before?
I think you look at 4 really good offenses, but there's a lot of that going around. If you look at the other regionals, and a lot has to do with college baseball and it heating up and the wind blowing out of the south, and the ball carrying so well at all the ballparks, right? But when you look at this regional and the offenses that were in this regional, everybody knew that it was going to be a high scoring affair. So you got to try to keep up.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.